myself, because if I'm not patient with myself in the whole process of doing it, then I am banging everything up in my vehicle, and like it's just I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that it stays nice and stuff. So it does take me. It probably takes me like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes to do it. But again, I signed up for it, so it comes with it. And
Yeah.
and so once I get the wheels in, I just basically muscle up the the frame of the chair, and then I put it into the passenger seat, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. I might break a little sweat, but it's okay.
You're no stranger to sweating.
Yeah, exactly.
You work
So
hard.
it's okay.
Before we get started, I want to tell a personal story about my mom and Lifeline screening. You may have heard me talk about my mom's peripheral arterial disease diagnosis about 5-10 years ago. And I wanted to let you guys know how we found out about it. She's not a doctory kind of girl, and she has white coat syndrome. So it was very challenging for us to get her tested for different cardiac issues. So I got a postcard in the mail about Lifeline screening, and I went ahead and contacted them and brought her to basically like a pop-up, which was at a church, a local church. And she went in, and it was very quick and easy. She didn't seem to be super nervous about it. There were a lot of people milling around, and they found the peripheral arterial disease, sent us a report. Went to the cardiologist, started using diet and nutrition and exercise therapy to treat it. And I've since gone to the Lifeline screenings myself, as well as my other family members, because it was super cost effective, keeping us from having to pay multiple copays and travel time and things like that. So Lifeline Screening is offering 5 preventive health screenings for a special price for my audience of $149. The package includes a carotid artery screening, abdominal aortic aneurysm screening, atrial fibrillation, which is also called AFib screening, peripheral arterial disease, PAD, which is what my mom was screened for, and osteoporosis screening. In addition, you can add other options like liver and kidney function and the A1C marker, which is for diabetes. So I can't encourage you enough to check it out. It's well worth it. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's painless. And you can click on my show notes in order to get the offer for $149, or you can call 844-558-0996 to schedule your appointment. That's 844-558-0996. Hi, everybody, and welcome to A Modern Healer's Journey. My name is Tammy Bennett, and I am a doctor of Oriental medicine practicing in Central Florida. My goal is to enhance and empower people through education on health and wellness. And we have a superstar with us today, second time around, our largest views ever on the show. Elena Brandner's with us. And about 5-6 months ago, she was on the show. And there have been a lot of changes in her world that I wanted to come back to and talk about with regards to what's happened since the last time we talked to her. So why don't you fill me in and talk about mental health as it relates to your situation? You and I have had private conversations about just feeling not great mentally, myself included. I go through my ups and downs. I've lost some people recently that have been, dear friends, and situations that were not, expected. So what are you doing on that side of the house?
So I've had I've had an energy worker that I've been working with since when I first came home, and I've been working with her a lot. But then I started branching out and looking for kind of a coach to help me work through other things, to kind of to help me figure out what's next up in my life. Like how am I going to take this experience that's been presented to me, and one, learn from it, but also what can I do with this experience versus just sitting in it and seeing what happens. And so I found an alignment coach. Her name's Annalise, and basically what she does is she helps me kind of figure out different perspectives on how to look at things that are happening in my life, and kind of in a way Mm, let me back up.
Okay.
So yeah, I hired an alignment coach, and her name's Annalise. And how she helps me is that she allows me to look at my thoughts and my actions and everything that's kind of happening in my life, and the find different perspectives on how to look at it. And her whole thing is perspective expansion. And so she uses energy work and mindfulness tools in order for me to organize the mental, emotional, and spiritual body within me to be able to kind of find a balance and move forward the with the experience that's being given to me.
Okay. And do you take any medications at all? I know some people, when they find themselves in situations where it's less than ideal and difficulties come up, hard, life things come up every day. Some people choose to take medication. Do you do any meds or do you do any? Um,
No, I don't take any medications that help in that vicinity. I do still take a pain med, but that's really the only medication that I'm taking. Um, as far as other things that I'm doing to help aid in my mental health, like I said, the whole driving thing was a total energy shift for me. Like that made an entirely big difference as far as like how I feel in my life. Um, just for the sheer fact that I can get up and go do whatever I want to go do now without having to rely on somebody else to get me to that point. Like I can go to the gym again. I can go to the beach, and it's crazy because I for a long time that wasn't the case for me. Like I was staying at home a lot, and to be somebody that never stayed home at all, to then have to be home all the time, it was a very big change for me. But now being able to drive again, I I it's I don't even know. Like people take it for such granted, and it's in a way that since I've been able to drive, my mental health has been so much better. For the fact that like so you get stuck in the pattern of not being able of having one not being able to go and do certain things without relying on other people, and two, just the sheer fact of having to call somebody and be like, hey, can I get a ride to go do this? So sometimes I do sit at home still, and I'm like, oh wait, like I can go do something. Like and I'm still being stuck in that pattern of not even realizing that I can go do something, and then realizing like, okay, yeah, like get up and go.
got
Um,
it.
and as far as other things in the mental health field, I've just been trying to be proactive, and like I actually get up early now. I go and get my morning sunlight. Um, I through my alignment coach, she gives me homework to do, and so every morning I sit in the sun with my doggies, and she gives me like a 10-15 minute meditation, and I sit with it and allow myself to really feel what's going on, and then carry that feeling throughout the day. And it's been a major game changer, which I'm very fortunate and blessed to have come in contact with her.
So the two dogs, you still have two dogs, right? Yeah. And people don't realize how therapeutic that really is. I remember during the pandemic, the first part of the pandemic, where I was like, this is like a swift change for me. I'm used to getting up and going and seeing patients, and none of that was happening. And I
Yeah,
remember feeling so close to the dogs, like picking up on their schedule, looking at them in a different way, understanding how they help me as much as I help them. There's that whole symbiosis with your animals kind of thing. I would assume that that is very therapeutic for you too.
yes, absolutely. My doggies are everything to me. I finally was able to get them back in my possession at the 10 month. The 10 months. I mean, I would see them periodically here and there, but the 10 month, they finally got to come home to me, and I get to wake up to them every morning, and I say good morning, and both of them start wagging their tails, and it's a very nice, definitely a very nice feeling.
Yeah. And I remember you telling me back when that your sister was a huge support system for you in the hospital. She's a nurse. She was helping do at home care with you. What's the status of the situation with your sister? Is she involved with this part of your healing as well? Is she in town? What's going on with her?
Yeah, yeah. My sister lives not even 5 minutes away from where I live currently, and yeah, she comes over with my niece and stuff, and we all hang out. And my parents come over once a week, or sometimes more than once a week, and they help me out around the house too. My mom, my mom's awesome. Like she'll come and help me out with my laundry and help me change my bed sheets and things like that. Which are all things I'm able to do, but it's nice to have the help to be able to do it.
Understood. With regards to the flow state, which is basically your mantra and was prior to the accident and still is, are you working towards making that a brand for yourself? Are you doing anything with that career wise?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on a website. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to approach the website. If I want to do like a personal blog, if I want to make it like a video blog, um, and kind of figuring out what to kind of what to do with it. And I need to also figure out a better logo for and yeah, a better logo to present and kind of show like this is what flow state recovery is about. I have a bunch of ideas. I'm just not. I'm trying to kind of narrow them down to see what avenue is going to be the best avenue for me.
When we spoke the last time and we talked about the flow state, we talked a little bit about your inspirational behaviors and your techniques and the things that you bring to the table for others. Obviously, people are watching you because we've had over 1,000 or 1,100 views on your first go round with just you and me talking. So, do you have now a group of people that you communicate with on social media on a regular basis that are following you as well? And are there other people that have had paralysis issues or trauma? Is that happening for you, or are these just still support people from your past?
Um, I have met some people like through core and so and vicinities like that that are following me now. I I would like to hope that the things that I post, and I should be better at posting things, which I'm working on. It's just trying to find that balance of you know grinding really hard and then coming home and not being really tired and going and posting and doing. And because
Yeah.
social media, I applaud the people that can keep up with social media and create like very great content and things in that nature because it's difficult. But I think my community has been amazing throughout this entire thing, and they're the ones that are constantly like supporting me through social media. And then I have every so often like I'll have random people also reach out, and I'd like to eventually be able to help those that are in similar situations, or if not dealing with other traumas, to be able to work through them the best that they can, and potentially me be an aid in that.
Have you thought about becoming an alignment coach as well? Is that something you would desire?
I've thought about becoming like a life coach. That was actually on my whiteboard prior to the accident happening, was to become a life coach. Um, and I've talked about this with my alignment coach. It's just I've in this last year. Do you follow David Goggins?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I listened to him
So
on the Joe Rogan show, and when I learned about his story, I started looking at some of his stuff, and wow, talk
yeah,
about
yeah. I, I never really related much to him prior to my accident, but now since the accident, I I follow him and I'm like, wow, yeah, you know what? I feel the things that he says much more so now than prior. But in one of his podcasts, he had talked about he had done like a 200-mile race, something wild like that, and it took him like 60 plus hours to finish. And he had mentioned that in within those 60 something hours, he had gained like 7 years of knowledge. And that to me, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that is kind of how I feel in this last year of how much I've learned, yet I'm having difficulty trying to express that to those that are around me. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is like learning the tools, finding the people, the resources to help me be able to take all that I've learned. Because in this last year, I feel like I've learned maybe 7 years of knowledge. Who knows? But I've learned a lot in this whole last year. Probably things that some people maybe won't ever get the chance to learn. But I would like to figure out how to take everything that I have learned and express it in a way that people are receptive to.
I got that. And I completely understand what you're saying. I have a client, her name is Diane, and she and I talk about some spiritual things. She's part of the Lakota tribe, and we were talking just the other day about how people go through these times in their lives where the learning is exponential, and then there's a dormancy, and then another explosion of exponential growth, physically, spiritually, emotionally, that kind of thing. And it's clear that you have, from trauma, had to go through these things in a different way. It wasn't like, 7 years, 10 years, you just got it all at once. And that information is hard to process and download. It may take time for you to get it all compartmentalized, adjusted, and to be able to communicate it out. But I would like to encourage you to do it, even if you're just doing like chatting on your phone and chatting your thoughts down and come back to it and see what it looks like. Because I do truly believe that you have many gifts to share with a lot of people,
Well,
including,
thank you.
what you shared with me.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, and that's why I reached out and got an alignment coach, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to find the tools necessary to be able to communicate and express what I have learned, and in hopes that people can take what I've been through and do something with their life.
Well, with that, my friend, I think we should wrap up. That's a really high note. I'm thrilled to see you, and we need to be in person,
Yeah, I
get to
know.
hug each
Next time,
other
next time you're in town, yeah, yeah, most definitely. I
for
appreciate you
sure.
so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me again.
Absolutely. And I'll include some videos for the audience so they can see your legs and the Jeep and some cool stuff that you've sent me with your
Yeah,
permission.
yeah, no, no, for sure. I'll send you some more stuff too. So,
Okay. I
uh,
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, I appreciate you.